Recorded live.
A warm welcome to everybody on the call this morning. This is our 20th call, 20th telewebcast. We are completing a 260-day Cholki cycle with the Mayan sacred calendar. And to honor the energies of today and the Trisina and this Cholki cycle, we have a wonderful, wonderful guest with us. Her name is Jennifer Monterroso, and she's calling in from Guatemala. I'm Barbara Sadler, the typical host that we have, also author of the Mayan Cross website. And I want to extend a warm welcome to everybody who's on with us, and Jennifer, who I usually call Colocha. How are you today, Colocha?
I'm doing great. Thank you, BJ, for inviting me to this show, and welcome everybody's spirit. And I'm very excited and very happy to be part of this.
Oh, we're so happy you're with us. Where exactly are you geographically? You've been all over the world. So.
Yeah, I'm in a very special place. I am in Guatemala, and I am in the lowlands of Guatemala in the north. That is where our Mayan ancestors lived one time and left these great ancient ceremonial places. And just 33 kilometers from one of the most important Mayan places here, Tikal. I'm transmitting from the pristine jungle. It's beautiful here.
Are you actually in the jungle?
Yes, I am here in the jungle.
Are you in Peten? By the lake?
I'm here. Yeah, by the lake.
Oh. Well, let's everybody just take a moment. Let's light our candles. Let's create our sacred space, and let's really tap into this beautiful sacred space where Colocha is located. I mean, all we have to do is open our heart and our mind to where she is, and we'll be able to feel the energy of that place. Colocha, can you describe it just a little bit more to help us kind of meditatively tap into that sacred land where the Maya once lived and flourished? And you can just feel
Yes, of course. So if you have a candle with you there, and you can stare into the beautiful fire, and the same, I'm here. I have a candle, a blue, beautiful candle here as an offering for this day and this new cycle and this opportunity, BJ, that you give me. And so, let's look into this fire and be connected to it and to this call. So for that reason, I want to start by giving thanks to the creator and former of our lives. Thank you for this sunrise and this new opportunity of being able to share what lives in our hearts. And I want to give thanks and call in the energy of the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth, the heart of the water and the heart of the fire, and the heart of the four winds that are the heart of our lives. I want to give thanks for our healthy bodies and for our beautiful minds. And I want to ask this sacred fire to touch our minds and to touch our hearts and enlighten everything that gathers around the fire. The fire is beautiful, and the fire is really healing for us. So I want to welcome also the energy of Tz'kin, one Tz'kin, which is the energy of represented by the birds and the higher vision that they have. And I want to welcome everyone who takes the time and the energy to pick up the phone and to get together in this way to be able to receive some messages and to give other messages. I want to ask how Nawal Tz'kin to please guide my words and my voice so I may help and share what lives in my heart. Thank you, everyone, and remember to thank yourself for putting you in this place in time and space. Maltiosh.
Matiosh, Matiosh. The Nawal Tz'kin. Very, very powerful energy. That energy, that Nawal, that connects, that helps us connect our earthly experience with the loftiest, the most heavenly, the greatest vision that there is, and helps us embody both. As above, so below. That's the major message that Tz'kin reminds us of. And often on these days, and maybe even if you're outside in nature right now, if the birds are waking up, you may see them soaring overhead, reminding you that even as earthly beings, we have this capacity if we just remember our capacity. And when the birds fly overhead, whether it be an eagle or a sparrow or a little wren or a robin, that's what they are there to remind us of. And they have this vision because they can fly above the jungle. They can fly at the tops of the trees and circle the tops of the mountains. And with this eye, with their eyes, they can see down at the ground. So they can see everything in expansiveness as well as the minutia, as well as the detail. So that they can plummet from the higher realms right down into the earth to find their nourishment, to find that which feeds them. And this is what the highest expression of what Tz'kin, or the eagle, or the bird, can bring to us. So we thank you for this, Nawal Tz'kin. Take a moment just to feel the energy of the day coming in, transitioning from the tristina of heat or wind into this next tristina, this next 13-day cycle, which already is being influenced by Tz'kin. Feel that presence within us, within our circle, and all around us. Halocha, can you speak to us a bit about how you work with the energies of the day as well as the energies of the tristina, and then lastly about the energies of the 260-day cycles?
Yes, of course, Barbara. The Mayan cosmology or the Mayan calendar, you can find it in books. You can read about it, but the most important thing is that the Mayan calendar brings us a way of life. So actually how we connect with the energy is that every morning the first thing that we do, we wake up and we give our thanks to the creator and former of the world. And just by having that humble action of starting your day by showing your gratitude for your creation and your life and your health, it activates a beautiful positive spiral in your life throughout your day. So the second thing that we do is we call in the energy of the day, and we really try to align our activities toward this energy, and not only align our activities, but to really open our hearts and our minds to receive the energy. The only way that you can really...
Can I ask a question about that? Just to get to know you a little bit more. How do you perceive that Tz'kin, you'll be working with Tz'kin today? Do you kind of forward project, like, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now, this is what's present in this day's energy, and also this is what I'm going to be doing today? Do you combine the two, or how do you work with that?
Well, it's really beautiful, and it's really in front of us, because Tz'kin is the messenger. And today I have the opportunity of being an early bird and messenger to this call. So more than me connecting with it, the energy connected with me. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you can only be aware of this by practicing it, by letting it in, by letting it come to you. So I really didn't have to do much to connect with the energy today, but I believe that there's no coincidence in having this phone call today, and to be able to express what lives in my heart, and also what I can envision of our unity. Like you were saying before, the Tz'kin is represented by the power animal of the bird. And the birds, what they do is that they can fly up high, and they have a wider vision, and they can see how all things are interconnected. So, I believe that through this phone call, whoever is listening is connected to this web, or to this delivery of messages.
Mm-hmm. So you're just opening to that energy and asking it to carry you, rather than, and so that you can just play with it throughout the day, rather than trying to intellectually apply this concept of the messenger to the things that you have to do today. Is that,
yes.
That
Yes, you open, because the thing is that no energy or no day is the same to the other day. Even though we have a cycle of 20 days, and 20 days ago it was Tz'kin also, and 20 days in front of us will be Tz'kin again. We have not experienced that yet. I have not experienced the day of Tz'kin today. What I know is that I have had the opportunity to be a messenger today, and I will probably receive messages too through this call. So it's more really about being open, being aware, being connected. The Mayan calendar and the daily energies are really just a guide to be aware, to be alert, to observe, to contemplate nature, because really the messages come from nature itself.
Mm-hmm. So talk to us a little bit also. So you've got the energy of the Nawal, Tz'kin, today. We also have the energy of one. So
yes.
How for you, can you express to us how the numerals affect the qualities of the Nawal?
Yes, of course. Today we're starting a cycle of 13 numbers, and it starts with one Tz'kin. So yesterday we were under the energy of 13 Ish, which is the highest energy for Ish, and Ish is the connection for Mother Earth, right? So I believe that when we really come in touch with Mother Earth and its magic, then we can really see how we are all connected. And that's why I believe that one Tz'kin is the energy that follows, because then we can really, like I said before, sense and perceive how we are all connected. So from today on to 13 days until we are in 13 Kes, the energy that will be ruling this Trecena will be the energy of Tz'kin. And when you are aware of these energies and you kind of pull them into your consciousness and into your mind, Tz'kin, by its wide vision and really sensitive vision, not only with our two eyes that can perceive the physical world, we can start opening more eyes in ourselves, like our third eye, and start being more changing our perceptions and opening them. So when we see these things, how things work out in nature, we can see that we live in an abundant world. We live in abundance. And that's why the energy of Tz'kin also pulls into our reality the abundance. So what you were saying to me about how would I also connect to the energy of today, I would really give thanks, and I will do a ceremony for giving thanks for the abundance that also surrounds us. Nobody should be lacking of nothing. Like how they say that God gives to everyone. So that is the vision also of this bird, of this energy. And for the next 13 days, we can focus really on the abundance that surrounds us. And if there's something that we're lacking, how to be able to release ourselves from any blockage that separates us from this abundance. So it's also a good day to think about projects, or if you are starting to think about a business or begin a business or something that is going to bring some material wealth into your life. Also, it's a day to feed that reality in your mind, that we don't need to be lacking things, but we need to rest in a world that is abundant, and that nature will provide us with what we need if we align our intentions and our thoughts into this abundant life that we live.
So that's a key aspect of Tz'kin, is it not? That we've got this massive, limitless consciousness of oneness and within the universe, within us. And yet, as earth beings, we need to ground that and materialize that abundance. And is that, would you say, why Tz'kin is often associated with material wealth and good fortune and, even, like you said, business matters? I mean, that's the connection between Tz'kin and this whole notion of asking for good fortunes on this day. Have I got that right?
Yes, that is right. We call in for abundance in your life, but that is just one part of the whole piece of cake of our life, right?
Right.
So also Tz'kin, what brings to us is some clarity in our mind. It's like sometimes when we live too much in our mind and our thoughts, we become like a bird in a cage. And what Tz'kin reminds us is that when we feel trapped in our thoughts or in our minds, then we can, take one time and say, okay, I think I'm just trapped in a cage, and I can release myself. And yes, you can release yourself by taking the chance of flying out of your mind, taking some time to see the bigger picture of how things are working or why you're having the thoughts that you're having. Be conscious about it, be an observant about it, and then be able to transform it and see how all things are meant to be, and everything that goes through our minds. You can take the time also to bless everything that lives in your mind and release yourself from it and stay here in the present moment, in the now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how should we be, what are you anticipating? What are you seeing for Tz'kin as a way of influencing the entire Trisina, the 13-day cycle?
Okay, I believe we will be receiving messages. It can be through a person, it can be through a dream, it can be through a message, it can be through a flying bird that comes to your window and sings a song to you. It all depends at what moment and in what place are you in your life in that moment that you are able to catch it and say, this is a message straight for me, because it's going to be obvious that you can't just not see it. So what I believe is that the Mayan calendar, it gives you the practice to stay in that awareness, to be able to receive messages. And even sometimes when you receive a bad message that you believe that is something that it was not what you were expecting, you should also receive it, because it will also show you the light towards one situation. So we don't expect only to receive great messages or only bad messages. Just messages that come and you can receive and they call upon your attention. It is great to be aware of it, and it's great to receive these messages so you can have some guidance in your life.
Yeah. Say, from where you are in the 10, can you see the comet Ison?
I'm sorry, the what?
The comet Ison.
No. I don't think so. No.
I don't know what the geographic coverage of all of that is, but maybe somebody on the call knows a little bit more about this than I do, but it feels kind of synchronistic that this very important comet that comes, I guess, at every 400 or so years is happening now during the wind and the wind Eek Trisina, as well as the Tz'kin Trisina, asking us really to look up and see and feel and open to these higher energies that are connected with this miracle that's passing in our night skies, the comet Ison. So
Barbara?
Yes, anybody else on the call?
This is Smiling Butterfly from Rochester, New York.
Right.
You can find the comet in the southeast direction in the sky. It's going right through by Scorpio and Sagittarius in that area.
Uh-huh.
In the morning hour, an hour before the sun comes up. So you're good. On the east, it's about, I think, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you look right before, whenever your sun comes up, wherever you are on the planet, the scientists are saying that you can look toward the east-southeast.
Mm-hmm.
for
and
this,
common butterfly,
this
do you
comet
want to speak a little
by
bit
the
more?
towards the horizon, and it's going to look like it's shooting up to the sky instead of coming down to the earth.
Oh, really? Have you seen it?
I caught a glimpse of it last week, and when they said you first could start to see it, and it's very, very bright. It almost looks like you're looking at a planet.
So naked eye, you can see it.
By naked eye, you can see it.
Oh, all right. Okay, good. So, Kalosha, they're saying that there's a connection between this comet and the prophecy of the blue star Kachina of the Hopi.
Okay.
Several of the other ancient traditions have connections and descriptions and prophecies related to this particular celestial event. So it's synchronistic, I think, that it's happening during these two Tricinas that are so, they're so up in the air. I mean, we're in the heavens here. And we've been there for, it's going to be 26 days, really. And then the following Tricina is Canil. So that's also very, kind of connected between as above, so below.
Yes.
So great. I want to explore your path, Kalosha. I mean, do you mind talking to us a bit about how you found the Mayan path, how you stepped onto it, and the kind of work that you're doing with it now, in terms of what you do in the world, what you're, how you're manifesting in the world?
Yes, of course. I was born here in Guatemala, and I lived my whole life here. I live next to the Mayan world. I say next to them because it's very different when you're born in the city and you are looking white and not really looking like a Mayan descendant, right? So since I knew about them, I lived with them, but I had no clue of the kind of life that they could have. Even some of the Mayas here have no clue of the Mayan cosmology, but thanks to the oral tradition, there's still some Mayan elders that hold this sacred information very dearly in their hearts, so 6 years ago I had a changing point in my life, 360, and for that reason I had to leave, and I decided to go to Chicago to visit my sisters that live there, really looking for a change. And there I found a girl who knew that I was from the Mayan world, and she gave me one of the most beautiful books I've ever read, which is The Disobedient Daughter of the Sun by Martin Prechtel. I highly recommend it to all of you if you want to know a little bit more about the Mayan feeling towards life. And I knew it. After I read that book, I came back to Guatemala, and I had to look for these people and for this life, because I couldn't believe that I was a Guatemalan, that I lived here, and that I had no clue about such a beautiful way of living, that it really touched me. So I went back to Lake Atitlan because this story takes place there. And to tell a long story in short, I was blessed to meet Mayan elder Tata Pedro, and we became very close friends, and he became my teacher, and I started to translate for him many of his ceremonies. My elder Tata Pedro is one of the elders that at this time he was open to share the Mayan message because he believed in the importance it had for all humanity. Mm-hmm. Because since the conquistadors came and then we had too long ago 40 years of a civil war, then the Mayas were not allowed to practice their sacred ceremonies or their cosmovision, their way of life. So in 1996 there was the end of this civil war, and in the peace treatment that it was signed, it was said that the Mayas could go back to their sacred places to take back their fire ceremonies. So in this time was when the Mayas started opening more to be able to share their ceremonies with other people that were not Maya. So I've learned a lot with him. I'm very grateful for the time that I was gifted, really, to be able to learn from him, and because of him I met other Mayan elders, and not only elders but young people who their spirit was awakened by our ancestors. And I believe that this information, even though we have been very strongly Christianized, this kind of information is really breastfed. It's something that is taken from your mother and your father and your grandparents here in this world. So I started walking with Tata Pedro, did many ceremonies here. We also traveled to Slovenia and Norway, and I was really surprised to find a lot of people in Slovenia already synchronized with the Mayan calendar, and I thought it was really beautiful. So when I found the Mayan calendar, the way that it touched my heart, it really made me wonder, that most of the time, we don't really question the time. We don't really question in what time we're living, who is really controlling our minds, or are we in control of our own lives? So I said, I have to try it out. I have to check it out. There is no school where you can go and learn about this. This is the Mayan University. It's in the outdoors. It's by being with the Mayan elders, by practicing with the sacred fire ceremony. That's where you really learn. That's where you really get in touch with yourself, because if we know the Mayan calendar, it's really about the human being and everything that it contains. So when I found the Mayan calendar, I decided to change into the Mayan time, into Mayan calendar. And I've been exploring it through all this time, over 6 years now. And how I do it is that I decided to change my life. I left the city and I came to live into the jungle. My Nawal is 9-ish. I am a 9 jaguar. And because of this study and investigation that I have towards the Mayan calendar, I decided to come and live here in the jungle, very close to where the spirit of the jaguar lives. And so I have dedicated my life now to share with whomever is interested and comes close to me, to share something about the Mayan calendar, because I believe it holds the spark seed of a bright future for all of us.
Well, I'd like to add a little bit to that for everybody's benefit. Kalocha has a group called Maya Cosmic Tours.
Yeah, it's called the Mayan Time Capsule, and it includes the Mayan Cosmic Tours.
Okay, so what can you tell us about that? What you do with the Mayan Cosmic Tours and the capsules that you put together?
Yes, in 2010, I met a very special person who now is my partner, and we met around a sacred fire, and he's also a jaguar, 6-ish. And the night that we met, we knew about our connection, and we decided he's actually from Norway. We met in Lake Atitlan here in Guatemala. And I told him he was really interested in the Mayan calendar, and I told him, why don't we go for a journey? And I said, why don't we align our journey for 20 days with the 20 energies of the Mayan calendar? And so we did, and we went in this journey, and I shared with him everything I knew about the Mayan calendar, and we did an activation of each Nawal every day. We did a fire, even if it was not a big fire, we did a small fire and invocations of the energy. And wow, after 20 days, really, we became mirrors. We went into a different time, and we were able to explore really how sacred time works. So after this journey that we did together, I stayed with that in my mind and said, wow, this is like a perfect formula or perfect thing to do in order to really connect and have a taste of what it is to do a 20-day meditation with 20 energies. And I believe that through doing this kind of meditation and activation of 20 days, to be out in nature, to connect with the most humble part of yourself and vulnerable self, because now we live in such a comfort state that we don't really get to use our whole body, mind, and spirit here. So, yeah, that's what I decided to do after that, and guide people into journeys of 20 days of activation and also of self-contemplation and self-studying through the Mayan calendar on 20 days. And sometimes it has been, every time has been a great experience, right? But it also, since it takes you out of your comfort zones, then sometimes it can be really challenging too. But I think that challenges really take us a step or many steps forward in our evolution. So, yeah, now I'm here in Petén, and sometimes I do it with other people. Sometimes I just take off 20 days for myself to really concentrate on this positive spiral that I was talking about before.
Yeah, I want to add that Jennifer's approach to this is something really unique, at least that I've found in my connections with people in Guatemala. For example, last year for the big December 21st event, I had been talking to Jennifer and asking, well, are you going to be in Tikal, or, where are you going to be? And finally, just before the time came, she says, no, I need to be in the jungle. So she took a group of people trekking for those 20 days in probably some of the most inhospitable jungle land in the whole region, not just in Guatemala, but in the whole region, in the lowlands. And they were in El Mirador Basin. And this is a trek to get to El Mirador, which is the tallest, biggest pyramid ever found in the world. To get there, I mean, most people you hear about going there, they turn back. Somebody's got some background noise. Can you star 6, please? So it's Kalocha, it's Jennifer that's leading this group into the jungle. And I believe you all went and you all came back, right? I mean...
Yeah, we're still alive.
You're still alive. And what did you find there? I mean, were you guys the only ones there, or were there a lot of activities going on there, or can you describe that experience for us?
Yes, of course. Well, I live very close to Tikal, right? And that was like the hot spot for December 21st, 2012. And I really, I gotta confess, people were not really prepared for what was going on here. The tourism board and everybody was just not knowing what to do with this big date and this big event. While a lot of people around the world were very worried about bad things happening like earthquakes or tsunamis, actually the Mayan world was preparing for a big feast. We were preparing for a big and special time that was that we as humanity and this generation were going to be able to experience it. So I thought that Tikal was going to be a show and that the spiritual part of it was not going to be shown, but at the end it was. It was a big show, but I mean there has to be space for the people that want to come and just check it out. I still believe it's really important for those people that were called for other reasons than the spiritual reasons. So, and of course the media had a lot of misinformation regarding this event and talking about being the end of the world, and as we're speaking right now, we know that's not true. And so I said, you know what, I really want to go and be in touch with myself and really be connected with our ancestors and yeah, so I decided to make this journey into the jungle. I really love the jungle, and I really love to walk from temple to temple, really walk like a Mayan. Can you give me 1 second, please?
Yeah. I think she muted herself. So anyway, I'll talk a little bit until she comes back. But this is what's so incredible about Kalocha and her.
There was just a car passing by. Yeah, so I decided to go into the jungle, into one of the most ancient and important sites of the Maya, and it was, I really wished I could connect with my feet, these 3 temples, this triadic pattern that the Mayas have. And for me, that means the triadic pattern. They build cities in triangles, they build temples in triangles, and they end up their temples in triangles. Mm-hmm. And it is aligned with the belt of Orion, and it's also aligned with the intention of aligning your body, mind, and spirit. So I believe that it's really important to have our bodies in action, to have our minds in action and our spirit in action. When we are in activities, when we're moving, when we are, moving everything, I thought it was really a time to move everything. So for everybody to understand a little bit more about December 21st, 2012, I want to give you an example so you can see what really was happening. Mm-hmm. For the Mayas, the most important cycle is 1 day. That's what we have, okay? But they divided 1 day into the sunrise, then the midday, then the sunset, and then the night. And like Barbara was saying, as it is in the micro, it is in the macro. So we also have a count, which is a long day in the cosmos, or the long count. So what happens in 1 day, it's a mirror of this long day in the cosmos, or the long count. So imagine it as being a long day which has 5,200 years of the sunrise, then another 5,000 years for the midday, another 5,000 years for the sunset, and another 5,000 years for the night, around 5,200 years. So this is the long count of the 26,000 years. So imagine that the Mayas that were living here, our ancestors that left Tikal and El Mirador and these amazing places, they were here at the end of the day, starting the night. So they really knew what was going on. They knew that we had in front of us, that they had in front of them, 5,000 years of darkness for humanity. So what we were celebrating here on December 21st, 2012 was the beginning of a new long day for humanity. So, yeah, we're very lucky because we have 5,000 years ahead of us of light and of a sunrise, of a morning. And we know the impact that the light has, because in the darkness you can't see. But when the light comes, a lot of things are visible for us, so we're not blinded anymore. So I decided to go on a trek, and I wanted to be in a peaceful place where I could connect with this sunrise, because I knew that it was not about being with a lot of people, and what I want to say is that I truly believe that it was a personal experience, and when you had a personal experience, then you connect with a collective experience to whom anyone who was watching or was waiting or was connecting for this sunrise, then you would be connected with everyone else. So I first thought that I was going to do it by myself, and then I said, no, I'm going to invite people to come over with me. And really the people that came over with me was synchronized, and it was amazing group. It's a whole expedition into the jungle. You need to use your body, you need to use your mind, you need to lose your mind also in there, because it's a lot of walking.
What is it? What was it? A 6-day trek or something?
It was a 6-day trek. 30 kilometers per day is what we walked, and it was just incredible. We had amazing people coming with us. We had Dr. Bill, which is a very amazing host, guiding us here in Guatemala also, and his Nawal is 13 road. So many things were really beautiful, synchronized at that time. And young Mayan Tz'kin, or spiritual guide, came with us also, and there were a lot of other people coming there too. It's just a different environment when you make like an effort to get yourself where you want to be. So it was a whole meditation from step one, from making the decision to go into the jungle. So when you are there, you're just vulnerable to everything. You're humble. You are left out of the comfort zones, and all you have is yourself, and to really explore the true powers of your spirit, of your soul, and your willpower of taking you a step further, even though if you're tired, even though if there's mosquitoes going around, even though if you really have a lot of expectations what was going to happen in that sunrise. And all I can say is that during that sunrise and during that trip, all of my dreams came true, because for some time I was thinking, maybe I'm just crazy following this calendar and everything that I've gone through it, and ups and downs, but that day I just knew with my heart that I was on the right path in my life, and that was the most beautiful gift I received. And also I came together with my partner, with my boyfriend, and we were just connected in the most beautiful way, because it is a cosmic love that I found.
Can you tell us a bit about living in Norway?
I'm sorry?
I think that's such a beautiful way to describe an experience, and I'm really, really happy for you that you found it in this way, because it's just, it's such a lovely thing. And then you went on to live in Norway this summer. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you were off the grid there too, right?
Yes. Actually, I mean, I know my boyfriend's name is Sondre. Sondre and I met around the sacred fire. And some years, a year before something, I was really longing for a good companion, for a good partner. And all I asked to the sacred fire was that I would find him around the fire. And boom, there, I found him. And it took us some time. It has been a slow but beautiful process of our souls coming together and reunited again. And since we know that happened, because imagine, before I met him, I didn't even remember Norway existed. I had no really connection to that part of the world. Mm-hmm. So that connection, we understand that there is also an important cultural exchange between Norway and Guatemala. And there already have been some Mayan elders doing some ceremonies and activations there. So in 2011, we were invited to come to Norway, Mayan elder Pedro and myself, and we were there performing some ceremonies and some healing and sharing about the Mayan calendar, and it was really beautiful. And now that my home is divided in two, Guatemala and Norway, we have projects between Guatemala and Norway, and we are trying to bring a bridge, be bridgers of a cultural exchange between these two countries, because Norway has very important things to show us, the same as the sacred fire comes to Norway. You know that the Vikings, they used the fire to melt the iron there. And what we say, our vision is that the sacred fire now can come and melt the barriers between people. And we strongly believe in the healing power of gathering around the sacred fire. So now we are having this exchange between Norway and Guatemala, and we're also trying to invite Norwegians to come here and experience the Mayan time capsules.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, it's just amazing, isn't it? I mean, to make the connection between those two areas of the world. But it's all one, it's all the same truth. It's just all the cultural differences in the way they pursue that, and the way they honor that, and the way they experience it. So that is so, so beautiful. And I've known Kolocha all through these last few years, where these turning points have happened, and I just see how vibrant and loving your energy is, and I'm just overwhelmed. I'm so happy for you and Sondre and everybody that you're able to touch and work with.
Thank you, BJ.
I'm going to ask for questions, because we've got 5 more minutes, and I'm still going to ask Kolocha to do the count for Tz'kin. So does anybody have any questions pertinent to what we're talking about, or for Kolocha personally, that you would like to chat or use your voice on the telephone to ask her? Give a moment here for people to formulate something, if in fact they do. Well, I would like to, I don't see anybody calling in with anything, so let's us do this. I also want to just mention that this call, this telewebcast, is the last in a series of 20 telewebcasts, one for each Nawal. So for me personally, this is like a celebration of a commitment to completing a commitment to honor each one of the Nawals, capture it for posterity by recording these webcasts, and they also go into YouTube format. Thank you so much to Jeff Grant, who is my friend from Southern California, who helps us do that. And this, we both feel, and I think some of you others do too, that this has been a labor of love. I mean, it's a commitment. It's a way that we can show how important it is to share this wisdom, to capture the insight from people who are on the path, who walk it with every moment, within every breath, like Kolocha. And I just want to express my gratitude and my thanks to every single person who has participated, either by calling or chatting in, or by sharing their insight with us. And we've had a wide range of people. You know, we've had healers and daykeepers and elders and people that are just, the one common thread that we have is that we keep the count and we stay present and we allow this magnificent system that helps us stay attuned to what's most important in our lives and in the world. So I just want to say Mapiosh to all of you. And then, Kolocha, if you can, if you will, do the count for us.
Yes, sure. We're starting in one Tz'kin. I want to say that the high point of this wave of 13 days is going to be 7 Imosh. And Imosh is all about our feelings and emotions and to bring the messages from the below the surface of our consciousness. And we're going to end it up with 13 Kech, which is the deer, which it brings balance to us too. So whatever messages you receive, welcome them, observe them, take them in, and let them serve their own purpose. So I want to also thank you, BJ, for this commitment and for being so great and a loving, beautiful person, and for bringing the Mayan world and messages to a lot of people. And may your work and your path be also blessed, the same as everyone who is listening. And I want to give thanks to Nawal Tz'kin for this opportunity, and let's call in the 13 numbers of Tz'kin, and we can, while we do this, we can think about our main 13 joints of our body so they may take us and guide us in the right direction. So, Malpio Shahau, Nawal, Hun Tz'kin, Keb Tz'kin, Oshib Tz'kin, Kahib Tz'kin, Hoob Tz'kin, Wakib Tz'kin, Wukub Tz'kin, Washakib Tz'kin, Beleheb Tz'kin, Lahuch Tz'kin, Hulahuch Tz'kin, Kablahuch Tz'kin, Osh Lahuch Tz'kin. May everything that the fire touches be blessed. May our thoughts be blessed. May all the messages that we receive and that we give and pass on be blessed. May we be guided by our hearts, and may the spiral, the positive spiral in our minds be activated, and may our thoughts be protected. Thank you very much for listening and for your time.
Oh, thank you so much, Kalocha. I miss you so. I'm so happy for you. We will be continually connected. And if anybody, I see there is one more question. We're running out of time, but maybe you can address this just as a final icing on the cake. There's
no problem.
Michelle, and she asks for your view on the strengthening of the divine feminine at this point in time.
What is it again? I'm sorry.
If you can share your view on the strengthening of the divine feminine at this time.
Well, what I believe is that we are in a good time. I think that more and more we are awakening to the power of the divine. More and more I hear people talking about consciousness, about going back to the earth, about being sustainable. And what I believe is that the most important sustainable thing that we should find is our own happiness, our own sustainable happiness. What makes us happy, that is the right path. As long as it serves our purpose and it's a healthy path, then we are on the right path. It is the time for the return of the divine. It is the time of the return for our ancestors. It is the time for us to remember who we truly are. And there is no doubt and there is no way turning back. Just like the sun came out this day is inevitable, the same way is inevitable the return of the divine power to be manifested through all of us, to be reincarnated in this sacred body.
Wow. I tell you, girl, you really, really have a beautiful way of communicating to us.
Thank you very much,
everyone. Thank you, Matios, to everyone. We'll see you again another time, another place, another topic, perhaps. But we'll call this a wrap, and this is a big wrap of a 260-day cycle that we began back on March 6th. And let's just take a big, big sigh together, feel our breath, feel the fire in our belly, and feel each other with a big cosmic breath and a cosmic hug. Matios, everyone. Thank you, Kalocha.
Matios, everyone, too, and may the Great Spirit bless us all.
So well received. Okay. Next time. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Blessings. Bye-bye.